Hello everybody and welcome back to On the Fly. I'm your host, Katie DeFeo. Guys, it's the best time of the year. It is May. It is May 2022 and Lord, do we have quite the month in front of us. Guys, the bracket was released and the games begin tomorrow. The Women's Lacrosse National Championship is in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and we have quite a few games to get through before then. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm actually gonna go through the bracket and give my gut reaction to each game and then just go all the way through the bracket. I think the tournament was pretty well seeded this year, I'll be honest. I think one of the greatest travesties in lacrosse history is the fact that Arizona State Women's Lacrosse was left off the bracket this year. I don't understand that. You look at wins against top opponents. I know they had a couple big wins. They made their conference championship game. What more can you ask for from the Arizona State Sun Devils? Bummed that they will not be in the tournament. They are one of America's teams, as we know, and you know, hats off to the Devs for a great season this year. But can't cry over spoiled milk, so we're just gonna get right into it. We're gonna go down the bracket. I'm gonna give you my reactions, my picks. Guys, I got a lot of friends on a lot of different teams. This is the truth. This is how I really feel. This is my predictions. Okay, so we're gonna get into it. First round, USC Trojans versus the Virginia Cavaliers. I'm on record as a proud alumnus of the University of Southern California. Got a bunch of homies still on the team there. Even if I didn't, I bleed Cardinal and gold. I bleed for the University of Southern California, so I'm obviously going USC in that one over Virginia, no question. That game is tomorrow. The winner goes on to play North Carolina, which is a different story, but we will get into that in a moment. I'm getting ahead of myself. Next, we got Rutgers and St. Joe's. I'm going Rutgers. Powerhouse up in Jersey, Big Ten team, they're experienced. They look really good this year. I think they could have been seeded. I think that's a hot take. They could have been seeded. They are a really good team, so I'm excited to see them progress throughout this tournament. Drexel, Stony Brook. I'm obviously going Stony Brook. I'm sorry. I have a really good friend from home, Maura Sissel, who plays at Drexel. Maura, if you're watching, I love you so much, and this has nothing to do with that, but I'm going Stony Brook in this one. I apologize. You would have to be the dumbest human being alive to bet against Joe Spallina in May. Next, we got my college, Syracuse University, where I'm a proud alumni and lifelong fan, versus Fairfield, where my mother actually went to college. My mom played club lacrosse at Fairfield. People forget. So I'm gonna go Syracuse in this one. Sorry, Mom. Syracuse is the team of destiny. They're America's team. I have not, am not, and will never doubt the Syracuse University women's lacrosse team. They're not playing at home, even though they're a 5th seed in this tournament because of graduation at the Carrier Dome and accommodation issues, which is a damn shame. But they're just gonna have to keep fighting through that adversity. That's what we've been doing all year. Umass Princeton. I'm going Princeton. Shout out Rachel DeCecco. Shout out Coach Chris Saylor. Her final goodbye, and shout out Rachel DeCecco. I'm going Princeton in this one against UMass. Notre Dame and Michigan. I'm going Notre Dame, obviously. Central Michigan versus number 4 Northwestern. I'm going Northwestern. They're loaded. I mean, they're absolutely loaded. There were questions at the beginning of the year. How are they going to be without Izzy Skane? And the questions were answered. They are phenomenal. So I'm going Northwestern in the first round. Next, on the other side of the bracket, we got Vermont and Denver. I'm going Denver. UConn, JMU. I'm going JMU. We still got some girls on that team that played on that national championship team. There's championship DNA in that locker room. I'm going JMU over UConn 9 out of 10 times. Loyola, Maryland versus Mount St. Mary's. Ain't no dog. I'm going with the Loyola Greyhounds. Hometown heroes. Shout out Loyola. Shout out Baltimore. I'm from there. I love Mount St. Mary's, but I just don't see it. Mercer in Florida. Florida. Next question. It doesn't even need explanation. Jacksonville and Stanford. This one is tough. I like Stanford. They're a good team. They won the Pac-12. They beat USC a handful of times. But I'm actually just gonna go with Jacksonville because I actually just do believe that they're an unorthodox offense. Sarah Elms is absolutely insane at lacrosse. She's having an insane year. She's had an insane career. She's one of my best friends, humble brag. I just like Jacksonville. I like them in May. They always they always do well in the tournament. I feel like they win their first round games typically. I don't know, don't quote me on that, but I'm going JU over Stanford. This is more of a gut check pick, but I'm gonna make it. Duke and Hopkins. I'm going Duke. Duke is a wagon right now. I mean, they're playing lights out ball. They're exciting to watch. They've really risen in the ACC this year. They didn't take shit from anybody all year long in their conference, and they play in the best conference in lacrosse, men's or women's. That conference is loaded. So I'm taking Duke here. They're battle tested. They're gonna beat up on Hopkins. Winner of that, so now we move into the next round. The second round. The winner of Duke and Hopkins, which I have Duke, goes on to play Maryland. Maryland's gonna beat Duke. I'm sorry, I know I just gassed up Duke literally 5 seconds ago, but Terps are insane. Terps are a wagon. I mean, they're just playing their best ball. They're the 2 seed. Last year they had a little bit of an off year. Not this year. They're back. Maryland's back. I wouldn't be shocked if we see Maryland on Memorial Day. I'm going Maryland over Duke. Next we got Jacksonville and Florida. God. You guys know this is my favorite matchup. This is the matchup that gets me out of bed. This is the matchup that fuels Unleashed, to be honest. This is the matchup that gets me going. This is lacrosse. Jacksonville, Florida, the two hotbeds down south. I'm going JU. I'm going JU. In the second round, Jacksonville over Florida. Loyola versus JMU. I'm going Loyola. I'm rolling with the dogs, the 6th seed. I like JMU, but Loyola's playing great lacrosse this year. Lastly, Denver and Boston College. Boston College by 150 goals. BC's gonna not lose until they play an ACC team, in my humble opinion, in this tournament, if they lose at all. Notre Dame and Northwestern, second round, potential, this is all potential, this is what I think. Notre Dame and Northwestern, I'm going Northwestern. We got Princeton and Cuse, I'm going Cuse. Even though it's at Princeton, like I said, Cuse is the higher seed, but they're not able to host. I still got Cuse in this one, no question. Cuse makes it to the third round. USC versus the North Carolina Tar Heels. Look, guys, I'll be honest, I love USC. I love those girls. Some of those girls are some of my best friends in the world. It would take a miracle, is what I'm gonna say. But I love them, and I think they're a talented team. I think they got a great roster. You catch UNC on a bad day, then you have a chance. But I think the problem is UNC doesn't have bad days. They have had very few bad days in the past like 5 years. So it would take a miracle. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna let my biases get ahead of me, but I think USC has a shot if UNC plays if they really, really hold them. Stony Brook, Rutgers, I'm going Stony Brook. So then now we look at the quarterfinals. Quarterfinals, North Carolina, Stony Brook. That's the matchup that everybody likes to see every year in May. Joe always gives them a great game. Coach Levy, Coach Spallina, two of the coaches for the U.S. national team. It's an absolute coaching masterclass when you watch these two teams play, especially in May, after all the adjustments all season long. It's tough for me to pick a team here, to be honest. I think it's a coin flip. But I'm gonna go Carolina, taking it to the Final Four. I love Stony Brook. I got a lot of love for Coach Spallina. I got a lot of love for that whole program. But I just think it's North Carolina again this year. They're just so damn good. Down on the other end of the bracket, we have Northwestern versus Syracuse. People forget earlier this season, that was one of the heartbreaking losses that Syracuse suffered. It was on the second game of a road trip. That was when I made my famous statement that I will never doubt that team. Fought like hell. They fought like hell. They came up short. I think Northwestern won in overtime. I like this matchup because the ACC obviously is the best, but then you obviously also have Northwestern in the Big Ten, and I just think it's I love when Syracuse and Northwestern play. I feel like they match up well against each other. I feel like we're gonna get a really good game here, 5 versus 4 in the quarterfinals. I am going with the Syracuse University women's lacrosse team all the way. BC Loyola, BC by 1,000. That's my prediction for BC Loyola. And then we move up to the last part of the bracket. We got Maryland and Jacksonville. That's actually a familiar May matchup. Jacksonville used to play Maryland a lot, when I was in high school and I think in college too, that in the first couple rounds. So I'm gonna take Maryland over Jacksonville. I love Jacksonville. Sarah, if you're watching, I love you, buddy, but I think it's the Terps. So my Final Four is Syracuse versus UNC and Maryland versus BC. I'm going Syracuse. I'm going Syracuse, Boston College, national championship game. I'm going Cuse by 3. I'm going Cuse 17-14. I'm thinking it's gonna be high scoring, Homewood Field, end of May, Memorial Day. The hot dogs are on the grill. They're adding seats in just to accommodate. There's gonna be so many damn people there. I got Cuse in the national championship game over BC by 3. Obviously, Cuse could be bounced out in the first round. This is all just extremely hypothetical, and I'll continue to do these types of update videos as the bracket continues, but that's my prediction for the national championship game. Who knows? I think I'm right. I've been wrong a lot. I've been wrong actually probably historically more than I've been right about these matchups, but look, I got a funny feeling, so we'll see. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know down below who you think is taking it all this year, and we will see you next week.